Okay, so in this video, we're actually going to update our project, and then we're going to deploy our Hello World web part to our tenant. Now, Microsoft has, because we're working in preview mode, Microsoft has been doing these drops, and it seems as if I do the math correctly, I think we probably have drop 2. We definitely do not have drop 3, based on the date and time of when we updated this once we started this video series. So to really confirm which drop, how far behind we are, we can go to our project, go down to package.json, and what Microsoft is saying for this particular drop, the latest one, which is 3, we should be on client base 2.1, preview 3.0, and then workbench 3.0. So let's go ahead and update these. It's interesting to update these versions. It's a manual process. Let's see which one, workbench 3.0. And then we're going to go ahead and save that off. So the first thing we have to do in our update is first we have to get the latest for the generator. And this is going to be a global switch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go ahead and pop open the command prompt, and then just execute this. Because this is global, it's not going to necessarily affect this project that I'm in per se, but these other changes where it says update your existing project, these changes will affect, I mean obviously any changes we made in package.json is going to make that effect, but these npm changes are going to affect the particular project that we're in. So now that the global switch has been updated, what I'm going to do is go ahead and do an npm update. And what I would do, I would actually put the link to this page right in the description field for the of this video that we're seeing on YouTube. So then we do an npm update, npm prune, and then the npm dedupe. Now your process, I've already ran these update commands against this project already. So that's why my updates seem to be running pretty quickly, whereas yours, but they shouldn't take more than, I would say probably 45 seconds, less than a minute each. So if it's running longer than a minute, that may be an indicator of issue, but just as long as you're seeing activity, I wouldn't be too concerned with it. So then the third command is the, or fourth command in our case, is the gulp nuke, and then we're going to run gulp, which seems to rebuild the project. Okay, so that seemed to build without error. So now what we're going to do is run this in gulp serve just to confirm our web part is working as expected. And it should pop open here in Chrome for me. So now I just drop in the web part. This is my local workbench, so I'm not going to see any real data. We have React turned off, so I should not see any data. I'm going to just go to yahoo.com. Something easy and quick to type in. All right, so it's updating, so this seems to be working as expected. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my tenant. And I switched tenants on you, and I'm going to get into the reason why I switched tenants. So this is the web part already deployed, but we're actually going to walk through the steps of deploying it. But what I want to do is go to the workbench, and then just go ahead and drop in the web part. This is the workbench. Now these are the exact same steps that we've been doing so far to date, based on the previous videos. So there's no change here, but let me do SP. Let me actually type in a valid web URL, and then bring back let's say about 3 lists. Click apply. So this is working as expected. So it seems like our project is still working as expected after the update. So that's the update. So now what we want to do. So let me go into the command prompt and then stop this guy. Let me open this other command window and just kill it. So that way we're only working with one instance so I don't get confused. So now what we want to do is package this up. And this is very similar to, it's replicating the process of when we do a build command in Visual Studio Enterprise when we were actually building the WSP, then we have a WSP and deploy it. But in this case, obviously, this is not going to be a WSP. This is going to be an SP app. So the build command is just go package solution. And then what this is going to do is going to create a, if you go to the directory of your project, it's going to create this SharePoint folder. And then within the SharePoint folder, it's going to be this wsp.app or .spapp file. And this is where app resides. Now, I was reading on the tutorial and really understanding what's all in this package. I think there's like a manifest. They said something about a feature. I'm not 100% on, if it's the feature that we see like in site activation or site collection features where we have to activate and deactivate those. But they said there's a feature part of there and part of this package. But they highlighted and they made it clear, and we're actually going to see this, that the CSS and JS files are not part of this package, right? So when we deploy this, we're not deploying those actually JS and CS files to SharePoint. It's still going to make remote calls, and then we will actually see that and that process or that structure affect us in a certain way. Now, in order to deploy this out, we need to get to our app catalog, and basically all I've done, even though my app catalog's there, is I just went to the SharePoint homepage, and then from suggested sites, because I've been in it a couple times, it popped up. If it does not pop up for you, you could just go through the waffle and then click admin, then go down to the SharePoint admin and pull it from your listing of site collections. You can get, that's another way you can get it if you do not remember the URL to the app catalog. Now, once you're in the app catalog, all you want to do is click on the apps for SharePoint. Again, I already have this guy deployed, so let me delete this. Sorry, I actually should have cleaned this up before I started this video. I apologize. So let me delete this. And actually, let me go through Devo2. Let me go ahead and delete it from here as well. So I'm just going to do a little cleanup here. Again, I apologize for this. Remove. All right, can we delete this guy? So I had to switch over to classic view in order to remove it. So it's going to remove it there. Let me go to the page and actually remove the instance of the web part from the page. Delete this. I just want to be at the same state of where you are going to be within your environment, so that way we can I'll make sure I don't miss a step and we cover all the steps. There's actually another example I want to show. Let me see, do I have to? Let me remove this guy here as well. Okay. All right, so we should be back. My environment should be matching your environment as far as there is no, let me get back to the app catalog. Sorry, there we go. All right, so I'm in the app catalog. There's no app deployed. I removed all the instances of the app in the site collection. I removed the web part. So our environment should be matching at this point. So basically all you do is just take this SP app, deploy it to the app catalog, right? And then this is going to pop up this dialog box. Now this is a big gotcha that I had to run into, and I had to actually go jump onto Stack Exchange to see exactly where I was going wrong, because there was only a couple of people that deployed this, but it was a step I missed in the environment setup. Now I have several O365 tenants. I have, MSDN, I have several paid subscriptions, and I also have the developer program or the developer preview one that's actually free, and it expires within a year of sign up. And in the environment setup, I believe that's the one that I was telling everyone, or that I specified that's the one to use. But all along, I was using one of my paid subscription and tenants, only because in the prior videos, if you've seen any of my other videos with SharePoint 2013 or SharePoint 2016 or the modern UI, I have a special tenant just for that, so I can show a lot of interaction and all this other good stuff. So that's the guy I was using. When I went to the app catalog on that paid subscription tenant, which would be like a production level type tenant, I uploaded this app. Actually, I may be able to show you here. Yeah, so this is my production playground type tenant, and when I upload this app, I get a deploy no, and I did not get the app pop up, the dialog pop up. And when I select, so I was like, that's weird. So I select these guys and I click on the Files tab in the ribbon, and the deploy button is disabled. And after some research, it became clear that they said during the preview mode, during the preview phase of evaluating the SharePoint Developer Framework, you will not be able to use these apps in production. It's recommended not to, and I believe this is how they block it. So, and they also specify that you must use a dev tenant as well as a developer site collection, and that's where I got my wires crossed. So now I am in my SPClassrooms, which is that developer preview site, which is a dev tenant, and then if you get the pop up, you hit deploy, and it actually deploys this tenant. Now, even in the dev tenant for me, and this may be different, and I really can't 100% explain it, but even in the dev tenant, if I go to my root site collection, which is the default site collection for the tenant, which is based off the team site, and if I go to site contents and I want to add that web part, to add the app, so I go, from my location, here's my app here, and I click on it, and it says, oh, ouch. Okay. This is just me playing. You're not going to get that. Sorry. Again, that's me trying to prep and not doing a good job cleaning up before I restart the process. Okay, so I was getting an error that, the app of the same version and name already existed. It's in the recycle bin. I need to clear the recycle bin out. So now if I go to add an app from my organization, this is everything that's in the app catalog. I select this guy. Oh, jeez. Sorry, guys. So I select this guy, and I'm still getting the error. But anyway, even if I'm able to add this, it will not allow me to add it. I have to go to the site collection recycle bin, I believe. Oh, jeez. Sorry. So much for clean demo. No, everything's empty. Everything's empty. All right. Even if I was now I'm all over the place now. Even if I was able to add that app, when I go to add the web part to this page, I get an error that permissions to add custom scripting or customized scripting to the site is not enabled. Like I don't have permissions. So I think that's another way that they ensure that you use the developer site collection. So let's just go through that. So enough of the issues that I kind of ran into because I did not read it. And it's actually clear in the tutorials. I was just not clear on. I didn't read very closely and adhere to and was clear on the warning that they were given because they did specify developer tenant and developer site collection. So okay, so here I am in my developer site collection, Devel2, and I go here from the organization, try to add an app. Okay, I'm gonna run into the same issue. Let me try here, recycle bin, clear this guy out, delete selected. All right, empty recycle bin. All right, hopefully this thing is clear now. So then I go to site contents, add from org. Oh man, boy, I tell you the truth. You're gonna run into. It's gonna be impossible to add an app. Check the second stage recycle bin. Okay, here we go. Delete. All right, hopefully this thing is cleared all the way out. So now let me go to site contents, add your organization. You can't. Oh, jeez, oh peaks. We're removing your app. All right. It seems like I paint myself in the corner here. All right. So it looked like it's finally removed. You have to go through all of the stages of the recycle bin, and this is good to know. I mean, if you're testing and you're not bumping up the versions, or you trying to wipe it clean and so we understand what the steps are. So it seems like you have to remove the app. It gets in the recycle bin, delete it there. It goes to a second stage recycle bin, delete it there, wait for it to completely clear out, and then you can re-add it. So a good step to go through. I apologize for the wasted video, but I wanted to film it to get through it just in case someone ran into the exact same scenario. We kind of knew, we learned together how to get through it. Okay, so this guy is added. Now I don't have to do anything here, and this is interesting. I think this is very similar to activating a feature per se, right? Because once I add this app to the site collection, now what I can do, I can go to a page and go to edit and then add this guy in as a standard custom web part. Now, one of the options we don't have in client-side web part is to specify the group, right? You remember how in WSP we can go and specify the group. So everything is going to be dumped into custom folder. In the custom folder, then our guy is there, the description we specified is there, the name that we specify for the web parts here, and then we click add. And then once this guy is added, we can go to the edit web part options. We get the standard web part property pane, but then once you click configure, this is where, we actually don't get anything. And I know why. I'm not panicking yet. So this is where, in another part of the tutorial, especially if you jumped ahead, you're already aware of this. They specify that in that SP app file extension package, the CSS and JS files are not included. They are still referencing the CSS and JS files locally ran on your local server. So let's go ahead and start gulp serve. Now, if I do gulp serve without the no browse switch, it's going to keep popping open a browser instance in my local workbench, local on my laptop here, right, without the real data. But now, now that I have this running, my JS files are available for this web part. Since it's referencing the files locally, now they are available and the web part starts working as expected. So all the JavaScript is able to kick in and then do the needed processing. Now, if I go back to now that the local server is running, I'm able to come in here and then specify a URL. I'm going to just go ahead and copy and paste this. Right, so this is the web that we want to pull the list from, and this is the count. We click apply. There's a magic X box, or X here. Then you click OK. And then now you are able to bring back the list. And then now if I save it, the web part should be embedded, and it's not iframed in. It's actually pretty magical how they're doing this. I'm not that far up on the technology as far as like using modules within HTML or HTTP or JavaScript to where you can specify your own set of frameworks and JS and it not affect the entire page, and it only affects this instance of the web part. And if you have multiple, I see a lot of warnings that do not bundle external JS files or JS libraries, because it will call those multiple times for every instance of the web part you have. So this is very interesting. So you kind of get the benefit of an iframe where you're separating these JavaScript files and libraries needed for your particular custom functionality, but you don't have to inject it within the overall home master page, which is very interesting to me. It's cool that it works. I just need to understand it more, so when I veer off of this tutorial, right, and I come off the rails a little bit, you know, take the training wheels off, I'm able to customize these web parts. And, you know, maybe if I want to bring in Bootstrap, I want to use Angular in addition to, you know, some of the TypeScript stuff. And those frameworks are, those JavaScript libraries are not part of this master page. I understand how to use those to manipulate this, and as well as if I'm having multiple of my custom web parts on the page, maybe one uses React framework and another one uses Angular, how heavy do I make that page load? So I want to understand better how to bring in those external libraries efficiently. You know, the ones that I'm using on 4 or 5 web parts on the page, as well as the ones that are using uniquely on individual web parts, that they do not conflict with each other, and I'm not calling the same library for, you know, multiple instances on the page. So I want to be efficient that way. So I have to read up and get better with that. Again, I apologize for all of the mishaps in this particular video, but I think it was good to show you know, how to clean up as well. But this is how you deploy a client-side web part to a classic page, and I want to make sure that's clear. Those were the steps to deploy it to existing classic SharePoint pages. I'm not sure if these are going to be the same steps. I'm pretty confident these will not be the same steps as far as like pulling it from the web part gallery and all this other stuff when you're trying to deploy it to modern pages. Because I think with the modern page and the way the gallery is set up, it's going to be more streamlined and more so the way they have it laid out in our workbench page. So I think that's going to be, let me just show here. So when I'm trying to explain is, I really think this is going to be the gallery for modern pages, whereas the web part gallery, the step that we just saw was how you use it for classic pages. But it's cool that, you know, our client-side web parts work in the classic page, so that way we can jump in and use this functionality right away for those of us who are on O365. Still don't know if they released a date when this type of capability would be available for 2016 on-prem, but they've been so far pretty quiet about making this backwards compatible for SharePoint 2013 on-prem, which I believe all bets are off, because I think they really want to get everybody 2016 plus and ideally into the cloud. So it'll be interesting if they make this 2013 compatible or not. But either way, that's it for this video. I just, you know, I wanted to walk through on how to get this set up and how to get this deployed out and how to update your environment when there are new drops provided by Microsoft as we work through this preview phase. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you in the next video.